Hail, fellows, and welcome to Pen Night Radio, where we slay our personal demons and arm ourselves to write our best content. I am your host, PK, unofficially knighted by a fictional character, and you know what that means. It means you don't have to call me sir. You can call me PK. You can call me Alec. You can call me whatever you want. People have and continue to call me whatever they want. But for now, I will be your host. So as long as you do not call me sir, but you do listen to the amazing writing advice that I am privileged to be able to impart to you, then you will enjoy this stream. Let's dive into why we're here. Let's take out our pens and slay the demons that are dragging us down today. And then, knights, we write. I'm very excited about today's topic. Very excited to share it with you all. It is time to talk about writing communities. What are they? Communities where everybody gets paid to write all the time, where everybody makes enough money to to pay all their bills through their writing? Well, sadly, no. Writing communities are no such thing. I'm not sure there really is any such community where a writer is able to pay off all their debts, spend their days doing what they love, and just making a killing. Of course, it's possible that place is Hollywood, but I've heard that in Hollywood, that comes with a thing called golden handcuffs. So as much as I would love to be able to do what I love for a living, I don't know if I would really want to be handcuffed to a particular group of people for the rest of my life, but that's just me. Here's the point. All the writers that I know, including myself, have to pour almost all of their time into day jobs and other responsibilities before they can make it to the writing desk. This is just one of many reasons why tons of people who have the gift may not even be considering picking up the pen. Another reason might be that even if you have a lot of time to commit to your dreams, once you have a publishable work, you just don't know what to do next. Or maybe you don't know if there are any rules involved with publishing a book. Some people ask, are you ever too young or too old to publish your book? Some people ask, what kind of feedback am I looking for? Some people ask, who can tell me when my book is ready? Well, fear not. It's no secret that with the explosion of online marketing and indie publishing, a lot more people are publishing in this day and age. And who can answer all your questions, provide you with vital feedback, and get you ready to pursue your dreams? The answer is writing communities. Writing communities are the lifeblood by which a writer operates. I have found that even the most seclusive people will eventually turn to a writing community of some form in order to gain the feedback they know is vital. But what and where are writing communities, and how can you get involved? Pen Night Radio has the answer. First off, let's discuss the different kinds of writing communities I've encountered, how they function, what the pros and cons are, and whether or not this community is the right fit for you. Number one, workshop groups. When I was studying creative writing in college, I found that the first few years were sadly unfulfilling in terms of preparing me to pursue my goals. A lot of the early courses just focus on the bare bones of the process that I'd already learned in high school. They just kind of felt like higher level grammar lessons and things like that. And I put them in my back pocket for sure, and I had to relearn them later in life, it turned out. So, I guess I should have valued those first 3 years more than I purport to have here on this show. But anyway, things changed when I started taking workshop classes like Creative Writing Workshop or Advanced Poetry Writing Workshop or Advanced Fiction Writing Workshop. And being a fiction writer, I found that it was the Advanced Fiction Writing Workshop that really changed me. It was the first workshop class to really stoke my creativity. And in that class, I had a great teacher, a fellow named Nathan Long, and a great group of people that came together, obviously, to get their undergraduate degrees, but also, I think, because they really loved the creative process, meeting other people, and wanted to be in a class that would allow them to do so. Each week, a small group of people would plan to meet and select a single person to submit a short story or chapter, usually with a max word count or page count, and everyone would make time to read it before the date of workshop to then be discussed at their meeting. Now, this was not only the format for my advanced fiction writing class, but it was also the format by which a smaller group of us who left that class wanting to continue workshopping formed our own group. So, this is what I call a workshop community. We would meet on Skype, Zoom, Google Meet, whatever, and spend about an hour discussing the piece that we had read between sessions, what stood out about the piece, what we particularly enjoyed or didn't enjoy about it, what we thought could be improved upon. We would spend the hour focusing on that one writer and giving them all of these notes for them to use. And by participating in this rotation, each group member would receive at minimum monthly feedback on their works of art. And that is something that writers outside of writing communities can struggle greatly to come by. To add to the pros of this kind of group, it's also a chance to build deep connection with each of the group members. As we found, we were often arranging play dates and get-togethers in addition to our workshop dates. We were getting together for parties. We were getting together at restaurants. We were going to the beach together. We were asking, hey, any early impressions on that piece I sent? And then we were meeting in person to just do this vital business. So I can tell you that the workshop group style really is something that I can remember. The room for advanced fiction writing workshop that was using this module was just full of sofas. I was so used to going to school in uh, uh, rooms full of desks, sometimes in auditoriums with very, very uncomfortable seating. But the writer's lounge was the spot for workshops, and that was where the classes were held. And we were just sitting around. We had, printed out stories in front of us like newspapers, and we were all picking them up and going through line by line, talking about what the author could improve upon. The author was leaving, if they were smart, the author was leaving every meeting with notes. Now, a con of this group structure, which might make it not quite what you're looking for, could be the emphasis on turning in work early, reading before the meeting, and focusing on one or two people, depending on the size of the group, in each meeting, meaning that there can be long stretches of time before you get your turn. See, as a hyper creative kind of guy who comes up with ideas constantly and instantly wants to apply feedback, I can remember occasionally being frustrated by the group's structure because I would have my session where they would look over my draft and spend time giving me vital feedback. But then the next day, when I applied that feedback, I would then have to wait on a longer rotation before anything could be done about it. And it should be noted that the group decides what the ground rules are going to be. If this is a classroom, the professor is going to decide how it functions. And if it's your own group, you're going to decide that with your group members. Maybe there's a group out there that spends 2 days workshopping, one day for a writer to submit their draft and another day for the same writer to present how they applied the feedback, which could leave you feeling a little more fulfilled. The thing to remember is that it's hard to change rules once the rules have been set in motion. It's all going to be decided probably at the first meeting date based on what everybody's mutual feeling is, because this type of workshop group is 100% informal. So that's something to consider when it comes to workshop groups. Number 2, writing groups. This type of group meets once a month, once a week, again, whatever that group advertises, usually in a public space such as a library or coffee house or something like that. This style of group is not members only, as is the previous, whether you're registering for the class or asking if you can join the group. The workshop group is run very much like a club, but the writing group is open to the public. Go to your local library, community spots, coffee houses, whatever, and check for announcements. See if any writing groups are advertising and see if you can just walk in one night and become a member. As a member, you can just show up and bring with you any short piece that you would like to present on the spot. It's likely that each meeting will start not with emphasis on any one person, but with what's called a writing sprint. A writing sprint is when you get together with somebody and you spend a certain amount of time, say 15 minutes, writing together, probably in response to a prompt, which could be a question or finish the story or write up to this ending or write a story that begins and ends with the word you. That's a writing prompt. We've done those, since grammar school. There will probably be a writing prompt passed out to all members, and this will be the jumping off point for your sprint's content. Now, these groups usually have a leader because they're public. So usually there's some sort of director of operations. That doesn't mean that it would be an exclusive club, but it means that you would probably go with a writing prompt already prepared due to the more formal nature of these groups. And the pros of that sort of group are that no preparation is required. You don't have to read anything during your valuable time before you go to your monthly or weekly meeting. You don't have to have a whole lot prepared when you go in. It's really a come as you are sort of place. And you can just go and you can engage with the writing community. Not to mention getting feedback on any work that you still decide to share if you are prepared to bring something with you after the sprint is done. A con of this sort of group might be that you can't have a whole chapter or a whole short story read on the spot. You can't, which you can do in the workshop group. You might be in a group of strangers, whereas in the workshop group, you're in with your, very good friends who you know and who you trust. And like I said, you're forging deep connections with them. And you might have deep connections forged in your writing group if you and some other people are regulars, but because it's open to the public will likely be there. And you might end up listening to a story that makes you kind of uncomfortable. Now, fortunately, if this is something you consider a con, groups like this always encourage polite discussion. It's the most important part of the workshop process. So if you find you're in need of saying something or speaking your mind, you will likely be encouraged to in your writing group. The third kind of writing group is an online community. Last week, we talked all about NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, and how their website is full of great features that offer support to writers who are embarking on the 50,000 word count sprint of the National Novel Writing Month Challenge. This is a prime example of a writing community, online writing community. NaNoWriMo's founders message their participants pep talks from acclaimed writers, award you badges based on your daily progress, and provide endless resources year-round, such as Camp Nano, where you can set writing goals for the months of April and May, seminars that you can listen to, events that are geared towards children. It just goes on and on. We stressed the importance of NaNoWriMo in the last episode, so I do encourage you to watch that episode for the full discussion. But I think probably the biggest benefit that we didn't talk about is that an online writing community, if you have any issues about traveling or if you have any anxieties about being in front of people face to face, these are resources that are delivered directly to your home and can hook you up with people that are going to give you the pep talks, that are going to give you the feedback, that are going to help you identify what needs to improve about your work. It can't be understated that if you prefer to work online, an online writing community is essential. One True Promotion, the group that's sponsoring this very show right now, is another example of a writing community. The directors at OTP, one of which is myself, are all writers, and we all have books published. We have shows and initiatives that are designed to help make your dreams come true. And by interacting with us, you'll be aware of all those shows. Like this one, Pen Night Radio is dedicated to giving you writing advice, information, resources, the whole shebang. We even do interviews with you on Drop-A-Line if you would like to be a guest. Andrew Bass, a while back, founded Writing Sprints, which is another function of One True Promotion. That provides an online writing sprint that you would see at one of your writing communities, except you can do it right at home using Instagram Live or StreamYard or YouTube Live to meet up with your fellow writers and just start sprinting while the clock runs. It all eliminates the potential hazard of avoiding this group because you don't want to travel. Andrew also provides services as a freelance literary agent and has already gotten 2 people traditional publishing deals. Brielle offers services as an editor, which is another vital step to turning your draft into a publishable work. So One True Promotion, in this author's opinion, is very much a writing community. It's a community that promotes. It's a community that does broadcasts. We're a community that does a lot of things. But first and foremost, we are a writing community. And if you ever want to take advantage of the services that we offer, you can drop a comment right here on Pen Night Radio. If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, you can use Spotify's commenting feature. You can ask us a question. You can tell us that you're working on something and you want to do a writing sprint. You can whatever. Any of that is available to you if you're interested in taking advantage of all that One True Promotion offers. So, Knights, those are writing communities. Just 3 types of communities that can guarantee your continued success as you embark on your publishing dreams. We're going to hear more about writing communities in a minute when we continue our show. But first, I just want to thank you for listening to this. And I want to just share something personal with you. I'm the type of writer that really tries to do way too much on my own. It was always my dream not just to publish my books, but I really wanted to write amazing books. Some part of me really wanted people to congratulate me for creating something so good all on my own. And what I've had to learn over and over and over again as I've gone through the publishing process is that every writer is a fortress. It takes a village. You just can't do this stuff on your own. Even if you are a just fabulous writer naturally, you don't make any mistakes. You know the story structure so well. There's no inconsistencies or holes in the story of any kind. The characters are all great. Even if you are such a writer, without reader feedback, you just don't know any of those things. It's the reader's feedback that's going to give you your own updated impressions about the piece. And it's beta readers, which can be another online community when readers come together that just say love to review ARCs, advanced reader copies. They like to review authors before those authors publish. That could very well, a community could form based on that principle. Communities could form just to be a book club. There's all kinds of communities out there, so go look for them. But what I'm trying to emphasize here is that it takes a village. And if you're a writer like me that tries to do too much on your own, your first stop should be finding a writing community. And you're in luck because One True Promotion is very much a community that can not only provide you with its own services, but can network you with other writing communities that network with us right here on Pen Night Radio. Knight's Pen Night Radio is dedicated to bringing you content that is both entertaining and educational. We share personal and business experience to help you figure out how to tackle the most puzzling issues in your craft, slay the demons that are holding you down, and turn that blank page into a full page. We will be back shortly with a special interview in our second segment, which is called Drop a Line. I am very, very excited about this guest, so please stick around and hear what she has to say.